Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allison if you're new here, and welcome to Wonderland. Today we are going to be ranking my bookish boyfriends. Now, I have a lot of bookish boyfriends, so these are only some of them. I went through my books, I chose some bookish boyfriends, and I made a tier ranking list because I just love these videos and I've been binge watching them recently because they're just like super fun to hear people's opinions. And I chose just characters from all these books, if I consider them my bookish boyfriend or not, and I put them all together. So let's get into tier ranking and you can hear all my opinions on my bookish boyfriends. As you can see, I have 5 categories. Loves of my life at the top, my sweet boys, daddy issues question mark, vanilla paint, and not even if I was dead. So let's just get into this. So the first boy we have is Mr. Peter Malark. You know, I'm gonna put him in my sweet boys because I just like the bread boy. He's just so sweet, especially in the first couple books. And he just gives me like this warm feeling. Next we have Jamie Fraser, which I love Jamie Fraser, so he's gonna go into the love of my life. He calls to my Scottish soul, and like if you haven't watched Outlander or read Outlander, do it, it's so worth it. Next, I'm gonna go down here. This is Cal Calor from Red Queen. I'm gonna go with vanilla paint because he's not my favorite in the series and he's kind of brooding and not in the good way. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with that. Next, let's go with Edward Cullen. I'm gonna put him in daddy issues because like he's 119 and if I were to fall in love with him, maybe that said something about me, and I was in love with him at 14, so yeah, but now I know that me and him would never be compatible. Next is Cassian. He's going straight to the love of my life because I love Cass with everything inside of me, and I can't wait for his book to see what he's like in Nesta's eyes or in his eyes. We get to be in his brain. I'm so excited. Next is Damon. I'm gonna put him in daddy issues because he's old, but also he's like broken, and I don't know. Him and Stefan, they're kind of the epitome of daddy issues if you think about it, especially in the show. Next, let's go with Will Herondale. Oh no, I don't know where to put him. I'm gonna go with love of my life because I love Will Herondale, and he's not my favorite Shadowhunter boy, but I do love him, and I think that he's just something else, and there's just something about Will Herondale. Next is Patch. He's definitely going into daddy issues because like he tries to like murder his love interest in the first book, so like, but I loved him, so what does that say about me? Next is Gail Hawthorne. We're gonna put in Not Even If I Was Dead, just like Primrose herself, because I can't stand Gail. Never could, never have, and he couldn't touch me with a 50-foot pole. Next, let's go with Tristan from Twisted Fate by Jesse Elliott. I'm going to put him, I have a lot in daddy issues. We'll put him in daddy issues. He is a billionaire and he owns a hotel, and he kidnaps our main character and then hires her, and then they form a relationship. So like Christian Grey Will See You Now, but like Faye version. It's good. Next we have Damon Black. I'm gonna put him in my love of my life. He's from the Lux series by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and I love him so much. Even though he's kind of rude sometimes, he can be very sweet. Next, let's go with Adrian from Bloodlines and the Vampire Academy series. He's also going to go into Loves of My Life because I love Adrian, and I just, every time I see him, I'm just like, my baby, I love you. Even though you have issues, I love your issues. Next is Mr. Jacob Black. Oh boy. I'm gonna put him in Love of My Life because I've always loved Jacob Black, and I did dress up as Renesmee Cullen for Halloween. I was the Volturi version of Renesmee, so that was fun. And yeah, he might fit in daddy issues as well, but I really love Jacob, and I have for a long time, ever since my reread of Twilight. I just think that Jacob is a better match for me. Next we have Liam from The Darkest Minds, also going to go into the Love of My Life category because he says, "Miss you something fierce, darling," and he is Southern, and he just is like a sweetheart, and I love him very much, and if he called me darling, I'd probably melt on the spot. Let's go over here. Who's this? Oh, Seven Salvatore. I'm gonna go with Vanilla Paint because he's not my favorite Vampire Diaries boy. Even in the books, he's kind of vanilla. So he's gonna go with Vanilla Paint, even though I do love him and I consider myself a Caroline. I think Caroline should have ended up with Klaus. Next is Beck Pryor, and he gets to go in front of Jamie Fraser because Beck Pryor from The Violet Theory by Elodie Ivor is the love of my life, and she just told me that Beck Pryor is mine. So take that, y'all. I love this character. He is funny, he is a pirate, he is just everything perfection, and I want to marry him. Can I marry a fictional character? Is that possible? Next is Lucian. He's gonna go in Not Even If I Was Dead, and that's because I think he's creepy. I'm sorry. He's also made it to tree number 4, and we all know how I feel about his mate. I don't like her. I'm not gonna spoil it for those who haven't read ACOTAR, but if you know, you know. Next is Dorian Havillard. I'm going to put him in daddy issues because, again, he has daddy issues, and there's just something about, like, him and Manon, and, like, someone turn on a fan. Next is Asriel, and I'm going to put him in my sweet boys because I just feel like Az is just a sweet boy, and I love him so much. Even though he has these like dark shadows, I feel like Az is just like the perfect combination of like soft and like strong, and like I just love him. He's probably my second favorite Bat Boy. And let's just finish out the Bat Boys. He's the least interesting out of the Bat Boys. I'm sorry. Like, I love Reese, but like Vanilla Paint, I know I'm gonna get hate for this, but like, he shouldn't, like, if I were to choose him or Cassian, it's gonna be Cassian. And I have like other issues with Rhysand, so like really this is just me being petty and putting him in Vanilla Paint because I know if I like told Rhysand he was Vanilla Paint, he would like rage. He'd be so angry, and he'd prove it to me that he wasn't Vanilla Paint, and maybe he could work his way up the totem pole. Next is Jem Carstairs, and I'm gonna put him in my sweet boys because Jem is just so sweet. He's so wonderful and kind, and like every moment with him and Tessa, I was just like. Next is Ansel. He goes straight into my sweet boys. Ansel is from Serpent and Dove, and I love him so much. Oh, baby Ansel. He's just this innocent little guy that gets roped into Lou and Reed's crazy adventures, and I love him so much. He's just the best. Next is Rowan, and we're gonna put him, I think I'm gonna put him in daddy issues because if you've read the first book Rowan is in, and him and Aelin, he like punches her in the face the first time he meets her. But like, I love him still, and I would pull out a gold nightgown for him. Next is Kale. He's gonna go Not Even If I Was Dead I don't hate Kale, but me and Kale would like throw hands. Like, I would tell him he was being like a sissy and he would get mad at me and we would like fight in a circle with like Aylin being the referee, and she would not call any penalties on me. Next, I'm going to go with Julian Blackthorn. He's going to go up into love of my life as well because I love Jules. He's probably my favorite Shadowhunter boy. I just think he is wonderful, and again, all of his darkness aside, I just think him and Emma are perfection, and I relate to Emma the most in the Shadowhunter girls. Next is Dodge from The Looking Glass, and I'm going to put him in my sweet boys because if you read The Looking Glass, he's just so sweet with Alice, and I love that, and their relationship is such like a slow burn relationship that it just made my heart sing when I was reading it, and it's a great relationship. So he's my sweet boy. Next is Jace Wayland. Need I say more why I put him in daddy issues? I don't think I have to explain it anymore, but I love him and I would do anything for Jace. But like, he's had like 8 last names. Next is Tamlin, and we're gonna put him in Not Even If I Was Dead. Again, we would tussle. We would throw major hands. If I lived in the Spring Court, I would probably have been banished the second I walked in, the second I was born, because me and Tamlin would not have gotten along. And it would be really unfortunate if I was mated to him because I would put him in his place really quick. Next is Maven Kalor. The struggle is real right now to choose where I want to put him. I'll put him in daddy issues just because I feel like that's where he needs to go, but just know that I love him and all of his badness. Next is Reed Diggory. You know, he really pissed me off in this last book, but I still love him, so I'll put him in my sweet boys because I love him. But he's on my last nerve with the situation going on in Serpent and Dove and Blood and Honey. But I think Reed can be really sweet when he gets the stick out of his butt, and he can be really kind and he can listen, so that's why he's going in my sweet boys. And then last is Dimitri. He's gonna go in Vanilla Paint. I'm not a Dimitri fan. I don't know, I don't find him to be my favorite YA book boyfriend. He's just not my jam, but I do appreciate him. So even though he is Vanilla Paint, like I said, all these Vanilla Paint boys, they could still get it. But so that was me tier ranking book boyfriends. I hope you enjoyed. I just wanted to do a really fun and easy video for this week because NaNoWriMo started, so look out for all my NaNoWriMo vlogs. But let me know what your opinion on my tier ranking is, and if you have any different opinions on my book boyfriend. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time in Wonderland Loves. Bye!